Good day, everybody. It is Calxiyn here, and if you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe for more ODDTAXI videos. Today, I am going to be doing my review and my reaction highlights for episode 3, but remember that if you want to see my full-length timer and subtitle, you press play when I press play reactions, those are exclusively up on Patreon, and so you can go check that out if you want to see my entire, experience or thought process throughout the whole episode. But, again, these are going to be my reaction highlights, and then afterwards, we're going to do an in-depth review where we analyze, theorize, and discuss the episode and, again, the audio drama. And so if you're cool with that and you're down with that, we can just get into it. Let's go. Oh my gosh, everyone is spying on Odokawa. Oh dear. Why? Oh no, has everyone else heard that he's a suspect too? Oh no, that's so sad. Oh no, that's not good. That's so unfortunate. Will his friend really oh, the request was withdrawn? That's weird. That sounds like corruption. No, that's not true. That's absolutely not true. She did not run away. You know, I feel like that the police are hiding it. You know what I'm saying? That was a weird conversation. Oh, he wasn't talking to him. He was on the phone. Oh, that's awkward. But that means he was talking to someone to investigate it. That's interesting. Damn, I love how Odokawa is like, but you'll pay, right? Oh, man. Okay, well, this is great. Off to a great start. Everything's great. We're fine. Oh, wait, so he's the boss? He's the boss? Oh, dear. Wait, what? Oh, is he involved somehow? No. Yeah, see? That sounds like bullshit. That sounds like police corruption, you know? It sounds like that they didn't actually find her. Oh, that's interesting. So that seems to really impact him. So is that a friend? Is that a former, I don't want to say gang member, but okay, so he calls him Big Damon, and then the other one, or Damien, and then the other one is Older Damien. So I'm just like, I don't know. Damn! That's not good. Damn, maybe he's not involved then. Maybe he's like rogue. You know what I mean? Like he's investigating, but he's like, sorry to make the Persona reference, but like a phantom thief, you know? Like he's a vigilante. Okay, but why is your boss? Oh, that's kind of like wholesome then. Oh, really? But why? See, so he is friends with, oh my gosh, but how do we know which one's which? But is that true? I don't know. This is interesting. I really like this. Ooh, framed. I like a little sprinkle of framed. Oh man, they know everything about him. Oh, see, so he has his dash cam data. So he just meant, if somebody asked, for it now, with me in your taxi, don't give it. Okay, I get it. I don't agree with that. I feel like, I think that the police are just making that shit up. You know what I mean? Okay. So they're part of the same gang? But they don't like each other. Oh, okay. So now I see. He means the present. He means the present dashcam data, not the previous dashcam data. Okay. Oh my god. This guy has a lot of, you know what I mean? He has a lot of hang-ups. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't seem as bad. He's not aggressive. He's not rough. He's a very, he seems very calm, right? Oh dear. Oh, wow. See? Damn. Odokawa is very strict on the rules. Oh yeah, you have principles, right? That's what he told him, right? He just said that oh my gosh, you in the taxi, pull over. Damn. But you have principles, you said, right? Damn. Okay, but here's the question. Which one is it? Oh, he doesn't even know. So what if my theory was right that they pretend to be each other? That's a little spicy. Damn. Oh gosh. Oh, so it is the big one. Damn. See, I feel like they're setting it up that the little brother may be smarter than we think that he is. You know what I'm saying? Oh. Oh no. Is this more clips from the past? Oh damn, what was that? Damn. He's just like, I'd rather die than be inconvenienced. Oh man. But I do get it. I do understand. He'll probably be like, I don't have any friends. Oh no. Oh dear. What? Oh no. I hate that, but I love that, you know? But see, you wouldn't kill his friends though, because you have principles. Oh no, his weakness is the girl? But like, she's involved though. She sells drugs to him. See, what if he said that though? Because he's in on it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, he said that because he knows the alpaca lady is trying to, win his affection in order to spy on him, right? Maybe they know that already. Oh, jeez. This man almost just got run over. Oh my god. Okay, well, maybe that shows that Odokawa will break rules and be reckless for people he likes. I don't know. She's still there? This is ridiculous. Okay, he's just telling her the truth. That's interesting. Despite how I look, I'm also a drug dealer. Okay. Well, fight me, Odokawa, fight me. That's how it seems like. Immunity from the police. Well, I think that, do you think that he's onto it? That there's no genuine reason? I don't believe this. I don't believe this one bit. I'm sorry. I don't, sis is shady. She's the one who has the bug. I don't believe this at all. Well, that was nice, I guess. I guess that was nice. Oh my gosh, he's still, in La La Land, this man. That guy in the background, I don't know. There's, he looks like the guy that was in the OP that I was like, oh, that looks like the robbery guy. You know what I'm saying? But, oh, is he gonna tell him about the girl? Oh no, but you lied about your money, sis. She doesn't like you for you. Oh no. Oh, look at his little origami. That's so cute. I don't think so. I don't think so. Not. Oh my god. You haven't met her. You're not in love with her, sis. Damn. Yeah, you creep. I'm glad that Odokawa is calling this out, because I did not approve of this. There must be another reason. Yeah. She just wants you for your money. Damn. God. Yeah, but how can you... Yeah, exactly. How can you have feelings for someone that you've not met? Oh, see? He'll find out that he was lying. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, violence! Damn. You lied about your money. Is Odokawa gonna call him out? Yeah, you fucking liar! I love it here! Yeah, you yell at him! You get him! Goriki? Oh no! The doctor? Why? Well, that was random. This seems suspicious. I don't like this. I'm scared. Is she gonna kill him? Hold on. Is she gonna rob him and take his money? I don't think so. Maybe not. Okay, hold on. Let's not overreact. I don't like this. I feel like something's not good here. Other than the fact that she's trying to, like, use him for his money. I feel like that there's something else. See? I don't like this. I don't like when they, like, you know, they pay. Exactly. That's not good. So they followed her? Oh, dear. I wonder what they're thinking about all this, too, because, like, they seem to be involved somehow with, like, the whole thing, but, like, are they running a scam? You know what I mean? Are they money laundering? Are they trying to steal from sugar daddies? Like, maybe they put her up to it. You know what I mean? Oh, no. Oh, no. That's not nice. Damn. Oh, my God. Damn. They just have different outlooks, you know? One of them is a sellout, one of them wants to be successful without, you know, Oh, but why? Why be resentful? You should network. That's not nice. See, I don't agree with that. I think that's nonsense. I don't think that that's true. I think that that's a bad attitude. I don't think so. I don't think that that's the way to go about it. I think that you should, you know, a high tide raises all ships. So I definitely disagree. I wonder if they'll get shit for it, though. Like, if these audio dramas will pop up in the plot and we'll see them arguing with each other or broken up with each other or something. Damn. Why does it need to be your way or the highway? Oh, so he has the pen? The girlfriend? How did the girlfriend get it? Wait! Oh no! One of the girls said in their lie that they're dating a comedian. Not in their lie, in the game. That they're dating a comedian. So was that true? But who was it? So it seems like he wants to give it to Rui's, like, fanboy, right? Because I guess he works at a bar right now. That's what he said, right? And so now, that's who he'll pass it on to. That's interesting. Okay. So I decided to read the transcript because I thought that that would be better than trying to guess who was speaking and everything. And so it seems like that the black fur cat girl, I think that's Ichimura. I think that that's who it is. And so that she got it from their manager. And so then Nakado is the lead. That is Rui, as we keep calling her. And so she's the one who asked if she could have it next. So that means that she must be dating the comedian, and that makes sense. So she must be dating I don't know what the comedian's name is. She must be dating the horse comedian, and I guess the horse comedian gave it to his partner, and now his partner thought, like, oh, maybe I'll give it to my, you know, like, my coworker at the bar. So that means that he works at the same bar as, like, the fanboy, right? And so I feel like that's very interesting because that would mean that, like, Rui is the girlfriend of the comedian and, like, supporting him. And so it kind of makes sense. And see, that's why it makes sense, because the other girl, right, was so busy with school and busy with streaming and stuff. And, like, they're not making any money. That's why the other girl is trying to get a sugar daddy, right? So it kind of makes sense that Rui Rui would be the one to make enough to support him. And so that's what I was trying to say. I was like, it doesn't really make sense. Like, the other two girls aren't as successful. So that means that she must be, like, doing it to, like, support her boyfriend. Okay, that kind of makes sense. And so that's interesting, though. So why did the manager give it to her? Like, that's not suspicious in itself, but there's definitely, like, there's a lot to unpack here. So at least now we know the trajectory of where it came from, but then that gives us a hint to the fact that Rui is dating the comedian guy, which is, like, very strange, very messy. All right, everybody, let us get into our review, and before I talk about, I guess, scene by scene, as I usually do, I just want to talk about this episode, because I'm kind of torn on it. Like, on one hand, like, I think that it was very tense in some places, especially with, obviously, like, you have this, you know, criminal that we've heard all these rumors about in the taxi pointing a gun, but at the same time, like, I didn't really feel that tense, I guess. Like, I feel like reaction-wise, this episode was a little bit, like, meh, like, in terms of, like, big shit happening, but in terms of, like, discussion, I think that it's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there was a lot of interesting stuff. Honestly, like, the part where I snapped awake wasn't even the episode, it was the audio drama, because we found out that, I guess, Rui is dating the comedian guy, and, like, all of these threads intertwining, like, is just weird, right? So, keeping that all in mind, let's just get into this scene. And so I thought that genuinely, though, like, this miscommunication was kind of funny. Like, the fact that he is clearly, like, on the phone talking to someone, or at least he can't see that, right? But, like, I can see, like, he has the phone in his hand and everything. And so, yeah, he's talking about Odokawa, and so he thinks that, like, he's talking to him, the boss, I guess. The boss is talking to him, right? But obviously, like, that is not the case. And so I think that, like, something interesting about this, though, and I don't know why I covered the screen, because I'm gonna have to show y'all, is that he only has, like, the Bluetooth in one ear, and it's possible that he just, like, was so engrossed in his conversation he wasn't paying attention. But I feel like that if somebody was, like talking to me, like, that close by, and I had, like, one ear open, if that makes sense, like, I would definitely pick up on that. So I wonder if they'll figure out that, like, oh gosh, I can't, Kakihana is, like, his friend, and, like, that's gonna kind of come back to bite him in the ass later. Like, the fact that he answered all of these questions, like, as he was talking to someone else. So, obviously, what's the taxi driver's name? And so his friend is the one who's answering, but yet, like, on the phone in the other end of the conversation, right, like, Dobu is also answering. So I think that this was just, like, really, really funny. You know the missing high school girl case in, Niraima? Yes. Rumor has it she got into Otokawa's taxi. What? But we haven't heard anything about the case since then, right? Oh, you're right. You know, his friend is answering all these questions. The investigation request was withdrawn. So they found her then? No. Apparently they received a secondhand message. They received a message from her secondhand, right? And so I think that that's, like, incredibly suspicious. I'll just say it. I think that that is incredibly sus. I think that, like, given the fact that the police said that, and there's clearly, like, police corruption, I don't think that that's true. I don't think they found her. I think that, like, somebody paid them off, like, paid off the police, or, like, the police themselves are involved, or someone, like, even, like, bigger than that, like, I don't know, like, politicians or something. Like, we haven't seen any politicians, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's corruption somewhere in here. That said, I'm allegedly the reason she ran away from home. And so, see, I feel like that he had this conversation on purpose, because if somebody else, like, heard him talk about this in public, like, that would be very suspicious. You know what I mean? Like, he's having this conversation in, like, this, I don't know what you call it, but, like, I guess, like, a, kind of like a club, because obviously, like, there's drinks and there's food, but there's also, like, the bathhouse part of it, right? So I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I'm just, like, you know, like, I feel like that he knew that Kakihana was his friend, especially because Dobu knows that. So I thought, like, I think that he just, like, you know, did this on purpose. Like, this was all part of the plan, was to have this conversation in front of him to see what he knows, right? Like, I feel like that makes a lot of sense, especially because if you're talking about, like, a missing persons case in public and saying you're the reason why she, like, ran away or went missing, like, that would be so fucking sus, right? And I am more inclined to believe that this was, like, all part of the plan or something like that. Could you investigate her whereabouts? And then he's just like, you want me to do it, right? It's Dawn Chan's daughter. So I guess we'll have to pay attention to who that is, because that does not sound familiar to me at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess, who that character is. Whose daughter? I don't know what you expect me to do, right? He's just so confused. I thought that was so funny. Later, huh? Yeah, talk to you later. He's just like so lost. And so anyway, then we see that he was actually talking on the phone, right? And so he wasn't talking to him at all. And so I wonder, like, if he heard though, because he only had one earpiece in, right? So I feel like that, like, there's not really any reason for him to have not heard that the other guy was answering him. I love this. I love how Odokawa was just like, okay, I'll drive, but you'll pay, right? You'll pay the fare, won't you? Like, he's just so sarcastic. Maybe if you give me some useful information. What information? More importantly, that toy is awfully distracting. Is it a toy or is it real? I know that guns are kind of hard to get in Japan, so I feel like that it is probably real though, because he is still part of like the Yakuza or something, but I don't know, maybe it is fake. So then we see that his boss was talking to Dobu, and so that means that that guy was connected, and I think that that's interesting, right? Because last week I did say that, like, I didn't want to judge, but that guy did have a lot of tattoos, and I know that, like, tattoos are really, like, taboo in Japan, and so I was like, like, that guy has tattoos in the sauna. I wonder if that's, like suspicious or something. Like, I wonder if that's, like, a clue, and I guess it was a clue, right? Because, like, some people do have tattoos for cultural purposes, of course, but I mean, like, in Japan, like, culturally, tattoos are also kind of, like, seen as, like, oh, like, you know what I mean? And even, like, in North America, they were seen that way for a while, like, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're involved with some, like, shady stuff if you have tattoos. Like, I still think that that attitude is still prevalent over there, whether it's, like, for cultural or other reasons. Like, I still feel like that people feel that way about tattoos still. So anyway, they're having the conversation about this. Are those cigarettes? How much do you smoke, sir? I'm just gonna take this off so y'all can see this. Look at this. Like, bro, like, you have a problem. Have you just not cleaned the ashtray? Jesus Christ. Anyway, you mean Odokawa? Odokawa, what about him? And so, again, this is just the conversation, but now we're hearing his side. Boss, about that. So it did seem like he was gonna tell him that he got the security footage. And so I think that what's going on with him is that he basically wants to solve the case. Like, he didn't want to say anything about the security footage because he would be like, oh, like, thanks for getting that security footage for me. I'll pass it on to Yona or, like, the porcupine guy, right? Like, I feel like that he would have been like, oh yeah, thanks Dobu, thanks for that. Like, here Yona, you go figure it out, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he values maybe Yona more highly, so Dobu knows if he gave his boss the security footage, he would just sort of be seen as like, oh yeah, thanks for collecting that for us. Like, Yona, you go figure out what happened based on the footage. You handle it now, right? I feel like that's kind of the vibe I got. Like, he doesn't want to give it up because he kind of wants to prove that he can, like, solve the case himself, or that he can, like, still be useful. He's not just someone that goes around collecting, you know, data, dashcam data. He can actually, like, be useful in that way to solve the case. That's how I think, like, things are going down. And so then Dobu says, I heard about that from the older, Daemon, right? And so I feel like that we are definitely getting to this situation where we're not gonna know who's the younger one and who's the older one, because Dobu even says later that he can't tell them apart, right? And so who's to say, right? So I feel like that the younger one is playing dumb. Like, I feel like that in this situation, in the scene where they got pulled over, I feel like that was the older brother, just because he, like, sided with Dobu, you could say. But I feel like, and obviously he can't pretend to be his younger brother when his younger brother with the glasses is a rat, right? Like, that would be weird. So I feel like that he can't do the switcheroo, or I guess, again, like, the switcheroo thing is gonna get confusing real fast, but the younger brother can't pretend to be the older brother when the younger brother with the glasses was still there, like, all of that stuff, right? So he can only do it if he takes off the glasses and, like, goes off somewhere without the other one. And so I think that, like, that one was the older one, but, like, the younger one has also pretended to be the older one. Does that make sense? I'm so sorry, but I'm still, like, hooked on that theory. Apparently, they received a message from her secondhand. I see. That said, I'm allegedly the reason why she ran away from home. So again, we saw all this. And so again, we had the investigate the whereabouts thing. And so he's pressing it. He's like, hey, like, why do you care about like this high school girl? And we actually see that he's sweating. And so I wonder if he's sweating just because he's hiding this information from his boss that he has the dash footage, or like whether or not like there's something a bit more going on. Because he said he swears to God he wasn't involved. But I'm like, sir, am I supposed to believe you? Like, you're in the Yakuza. Like, I get that you have like principles and stuff, but still. And so they say it's Don Chan's daughter, and he looks like incredibly surprised by that. And so I feel like that Don is going to be like somebody involved. Maybe he's like a retired Yakuza person. Like maybe he's like somebody like to look up to, I guess, like within their organization. And so it's sort of like one of those things where it's like, oh, wait a minute, well, you didn't tell me that. Like, that's like important, because they do say it was his classmate, but I feel like that it's gonna be like more than that. Like, this is more than just like helping some classmate out, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that there's some sort of like friendship there to warrant like that big of a shock. Obviously Dobu knows him too, but yeah, then we get the little sweat drop and him looking at his phone because I don't think he's sure what to do after that. Odokawa, apparently you picked up the missing high school girl. Apparently, I handed over my dashcam data to Big Daimon a while ago. So see, that's the other thing, is I feel like it's very suspicious that one of them says older Daimon, while the other one says Big Daimon, right? Like, Odokawa is saying big, as in like size, and I know that that could mean older, but I feel like that that's a very important nuance, and that could mean that Odokawa actually does know which one's which. The little brother could be big still, like in size, like maybe there's like a difference to them, right? And so he says that he's in cahoots, like Dobu says he's in cahoots with older Daimon, but what if like Big Daimon and older Daimon aren't the same, and Odokawa knows that? Like, I feel like Odokawa like knows a lot of stuff, but isn't like telling us, you know what I mean? Like, he's not telling us, he's not internally monologuing it. Like, I feel like that he knows all this, but like we just don't. Like, we're kept out of the loop. And so I feel like that they are, like, you know, they're twins. They can't even tell them apart. So I feel like that there are definitely, like, it would be a crime to have twins and then not do like a switcheroo plotline, you know what I mean? Like, especially twins like this where they literally, like, you know, in a mystery and stuff. Like, I just feel like that it's definitely relevant. Sounds like you guys are involved then. I have a request. I need you to keep your mouth shut. Also, I want your help with something. And so I'm just like, bro, like, look at his face. He's just so unfazed. Big Daimon already told me to keep my mouth shut. He said a wanted armed criminal. Okay. A criminal armed with a gun. Oh my gosh. I'm recording very late, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm like saying things out of order, but it's fine. Would kill me if I told the police, right? And then in fact, there's a wanted criminal armed with a gun to kill me right now. Oh, that was so funny. Not just the police. Don't tell anybody. And I feel like that's so interesting because, like, it's not just about the police. It's about, like, rival gang members in a sense, right? Tell them you lost your dash cam data. Don't tell anyone, like, who. And so at this point, so this is also kind of important. We still see that Odokawa has the pen. And now we know the trajectory of the pen. So that means that the audio drama that we saw is actually, like, delayed, I guess, or, like, later in the timeline, because Odokawa picks up the manager of the girl group, and then the girl group like has that little meeting that we see in 2.5 or whatever it's called, the second audio drama, and then like they pass it on to Rui, who passes it on to her boyfriend, who is the comedian, which happens in 3.5, like the one that we saw today. And so I feel like that we must be bumped into the future, like those must be like future events, maybe not like huge future, but like maybe like not until episode 5 or 6, right? Those audio dramas, right? And so I feel like that's like kind of like, right? And so that's a little weird unless like the pen's already done a circle somehow, because obviously that kid that was in the taxi before, like he may be getting the pen because the other comedian guy like works with the idol kid, right? And so I don't know, like I don't know where this is going, but I feel like that those must be in the future then, because Odokawa still has the pen right here, right? Unless they're trying to do like it literally went around in a circle already and came back to Odokawa, which would be fucked. Please don't do that to me. I've had enough. You know what I mean? Okay, so yeah, everybody. So, what do you want help with? If anyone shows up looking for your dash cam data, I want you to let me know. And if I refuse, and then he says, I'll kill you. So that's great. We love that. We love that for us, right? And so you see, he kind of looks, and I feel like he does this. He's making a turn here, right? And so while he's making a turn, he can stealthily basically press the button. And I feel like that's really, really smart. So he presses a button that then puts SOS at the top of the taxi, which I feel like was really sneaky because, like, while you're driving normally, someone would notice that hand movement, but as you're making a turn, like, I don't drive, so I don't know, but I'm assuming that, like, you would kind of lean. I don't know. Do you lean with the car? Do you kind of like you go like this a little bit? And so, yeah, anyway, why are you so desperate to find this girl, Dobu? That ain't any of your damn business, thanks, sir. I can't help you if I don't know what's going on. And I kind of like that because I feel like that Odokawa is kind of like the taxi driver therapist. You know what I mean? In a weird way, even though like he needs a lot of therapy himself, I feel like that's very interesting. And so like everyone that has gotten into the taxi, he's helped to an extent, right? Like the idol kid, kinda, the one that wants to go viral, like that guy, and then also like the comedians, he kind of helped them work through their problems in a way, and so he's still kind of being like, hey, you know, I can't help you if I don't know what's going on, and like I feel like that he means that too, like, hey, if you're gonna hold me hostage, like, you know, at least tell me what's up, because I gotta know. Besides, without some information, I won't know what I'm not supposed to tell whom, but I'm like, sir, he told you not to tell anyone, like, that's anybody. You don't need to know. You just want to know, right? So anyway, fine. First, my boss is looking for the high school girl. Why? Because she's the daughter of a classmate. What about the police? Officially, the police suspect me, but I'm like, bro, that's so sus, like, you know what I mean? And then it, like, shines on the gun, which again could be a red herring, but he buries the gun later as if that's gonna be evidence of something, so I don't like that. Suspect you? Aren't you besties with the police? Hey, you insult me just with Big, Daimon. So wait, he calls him Big Daimon, but then later he says older. So, is that supposed to be a hint too? That he's friends with the little brother? And not, but the big brother was the one that came and saw, okay. I don't know anymore, I don't know. But anyway, really not little Daimon? See, so he says not little Daimon? Are you sure, right? Because what if Odokawa can somehow tell them apart? And so he has seen that, like, the one that got the dash cam was actually the little one, right? I don't know. Little Daimon is an idiot, so yeah, that's great. That's great for us. No, I feel like that there's something about that. I feel like Odokawa knows. So you're not actually involved? Nope, swear to God, I'm not involved. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, that's the word of the criminal, but still. If anything, I was framed. Well, that's interesting. But I'm just like, but why? Like, who would frame you though, sir? I get it, like, you know what I mean? They have enemies and stuff, but like the police officially suspect him, but is that just because it's easy to pin the crime on a criminal? Like, what if it was somebody like in the police that did it, or like that has connections and stuff? Why do you have my dash cam data then, right? Because he got it, right, from little or big, we don't know. He got it from the police officer. They did the handoff, right? Don't interrogate me like you're the police, Odokawa. Can't help you if I can't trust you. Honestly, I thought you were connected to the missing persons case. But so he watched the dash cam footage. That's what that sort of implies, right? Like, I thought that you were connected. Apparently, you've been talking to someone in your apartment, right? And so that rumor obviously got around. At first, I thought I'd get my hands on your dash cam data and probably, you know, like, see what's up, right? So I could blackmail you with it because he thought, like, he was involved. So you don't suspect me anymore then. See, that's interesting, because he doesn't say that he didn't do it, right? Odokawa's not like, I didn't do it. Odokawa says, you don't suspect me anymore. Which, again, I feel like that they're not gonna do that, right? Because that would be like, I don't know, like, that'd be so fucked up. Like, that'd be fucked up if Odokawa did it at the end. Nah, I still think you might have done it. I'm just like, but why? And so anyway, I don't know. I still think that would be so messed up, though, because, like, we've gotten to know and love this man, and then he's just, like, a murderer? Like, no, it has to be somebody else, right? Nah, I still think you might have done it, right? And so I'm just like, but why? You watch the dash cam footage, though. I want to see it. Like, show it to me. I want to know, you know? And so that's what that sort of implies, that he watched the footage and something in the footage kind of like changed his mind or something. Like, partially, maybe, I don't know. But he says, like, that he, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get that, though, because he says, so I could blackmail you with it. But then he's like, at first I thought I could do this so I could blackmail you, but I can't blackmail you after all. And so then he's like, oh, so you don't suspect me anymore, right? Because how could you blackmail me with something if I didn't do anything wrong in the video? But he's just like, okay, well, maybe you didn't do anything wrong in the video, but I still think that you might have done it. I think that that's basically what they're trying to say. There's nothing incriminating on the dash cam, but that doesn't mean that he didn't do it. It basically just means that he can't blackmail him with the dash cam like he thought that he may have been able to. Withdrawn, then her family must be satisfied with the situation. But I'm like, bro, that's still bullshit. You know what I mean? They got word that she ran away because of the relationship between my boss and her dad, right? So I guess that her dad is like in a gang. And so I'm just like, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. They haven't accepted the situation. Do you have any idea who might be involved? There's only one guy who could have put her up to this. That guy's name is Yano. And so I feel like I said his name wrong before, but this is who I meant when I said like the porcupine guy, and when I also said that thing about like, oh, well, you know, what if like this guy, what was I saying before anyway? Oh, like this guy was taking all the credit. So that guy would be on the case instead. Like, oh, thanks for getting the dash cam. I'll give it to Yano. Yano will do it for me, right? So I think that that's why Dobu didn't want to tell him, because Yano would like get the actual like solving the problem job, you know? What I'm getting from this, or at least what it implies to me, is that Yano basically told the girl to run away. You know what I mean? And she may still be alive. Like, what if she's not actually dead, but somebody's body got thrown in the river? So, like, that's not good. But I'm starting to wonder if what he means is it was basically like, oh my god, this is gonna be such like a bad reference. I'm so sorry. Okay. So, in the famous critically acclaimed Barbie Princess and the Pauper, stay with me, my anime guys, okay? There is a plot line where Preminger, he is the, advisor of the queen, basically makes this plan to kidnap Annalise. So, like, kidnap the princess, put her in the mine, pretend that he found her, right, because she won't know that he's the one who set up his goons to do it. So basically his goons go to kidnap Annalise. He comes in like the knight in shining armor, and he brings Annalise back to the queen, and the queen will be so grateful that she will be like, Preminger, you can marry my daughter, because, you know, I'm so grateful that you saved her and rescued her from the kidnapping, right? And so the reason why I say this is because what if the whole idea was for this girl to basically fake disappear, right? You know what I mean? Like, fake getting kidnapped. Like, oh, you know, like, if you want to stick it to your father, like, I'll help you. Like, we'll pretend that you got kidnapped for a couple days. That'll show him. And then something goes wrong, because something always goes wrong. And so what if, like, that was the whole thing? It was like, and then Yano would bring her back from the kidnappers, like this knight in shining armor, and get a promotion with the boss. And, like, the boss would be grateful because, like, Dawn is his friend and stuff. So that's why I brought up the Preminger thing, because Yano could be the Preminger, you know, like he wants all the credit for finding this girl, but put her up to disappearing in the first place, you know? My job is collecting payments for my boss. There's not much point in telling you about it, so I won't. And I'm just like, oh, okay. But it's about obligation or principle. See, so this man has principles, you know what I'm saying? But Yano only thinks about collecting more money than me. And so I'm just like, oh, man. And he doesn't work for obligation or principle. So see, that's why I don't think that Dobu would actually kill Odokawa. Because Dobu has principles, you know? He has standards, I guess. In other words, Yano doesn't like me. So you're saying there's no point in asking Yano directly. Bingo. So if somebody comes to take your dash cam data, in all likelihood, it'll be Yano or one of his henchmen, right? But okay, but like what if, I don't know, like what if one of the brothers is like working with Yano and already made him a copy of the dash cam, but then just gave it to Dobu anyway? Like, what if something like that happened? Anyway, that's why I want your help. Why don't you tell all this to your boss? I couldn't. So you actually see he starts sweating again. So he seems to have like, or express genuine nervousness right here. I didn't tell him that I have the dash cam data. Why? Because Yano is always telling everyone that I only do petty jobs, right? Like fetching the dash cam data. It's reached the boss's ears too. In other words, he's a show-off. Yeah, I think Yano knew what he was doing. I get the picture. You don't want me to tell anyone that you have my dash cam. What a confusing sentence. Because you don't want your boss to find out that you lied to him. And if anyone comes looking for it, you want me to let you know, right? So he basically wants to do, I think, Dobu wants to save the day. He wants to investigate this himself. And so that's why he's telling all this. So I don't want it to get back to my boss, or else my boss is going to be pissed at me that I lied to him. I want to be the one that saves the day, because or else he'll send Yano to go save the day, you know? If Yano was involved in the missing persons case, then I can find evidence of that and use it to bring him down. And so I feel like that, yeah, like that's like interesting. Like that's like, you know, like gang against gang, but also like vigilante, you know, like all that sort of stuff. No thanks, right? So Odokawa still says like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't want to help you. Look how shocked he is. You're still a criminal. I'm not interested in helping someone like that. Even if I threaten to kill you, you can't kill anyone, right? So I'm like, because he has principles, right? You may be a small-time gangster, but you've got your pride. Exactly, you got your principles. So something else that I wanted to talk about with this scene is just that like Odokawa feels very like neurodivergent to me. And I don't want to talk about autism too much just because anyway, that's a long story. I need to talk to my doctor about it basically, because like I suspect, but I'm not officially diagnosed. All I'm officially diagnosed with is ADHD, but I don't want to say that I don't, because anyway, you know what I mean. And so we'll get there when we get there, I guess. But I do officially have ADHD. So I will say that I've heard that it's a very common experience with both groups, both neurodivergent groups, that like fairness and like very strict adherence to the rules is definitely like a thing, like compared to, I guess, neurotypical people. And so something like Odokawa had said before, like, hey, like don't take pictures in the changing room, it's not allowed. Even though Kakihana said like, oh, well, it's just us here. Like most people are, I think, a bit more willing to bend the rules. It's almost like, and I don't agree with this at all, by the way, and I don't drive, but there are some people who think if there's no one else at a red light, I can go through the red light. Like, some people think that. I don't think that. I don't drive. I would stop at the red light, right? But maybe that's the difference between me and some other people. Some people would think like, oh, well, if no one else is around, like what, like the whole point of a traffic light is to stop collisions with other people, but if no one's around, like my point would be you never know who's gonna be around, you know what I mean? Just because you don't see anyone doesn't mean that no one's coming. But, you know, like there are just some social rules like that in more particular situations, you know what I mean? Like the changing room thing. Like, you know, if it was just like me and my friend like in like a room like that and it said no photos, but like it's only us two together, like it's one of those things, right? I still wouldn't do that. I still wouldn't take a picture in a place that I'm not supposed to, but maybe one of my friends would, because they aren't as strict with that sort of stuff as I am, because they would perceive it as that rule exists to protect the privacy of other people. As long as we're the only two in here and we both have each other's consent to take pictures, what does it matter? Whereas I'm just like, no, like, you know what I mean? I'm very strict like that, like in terms of like, you know, like rules and fairness and, you know, specific things, I guess. And so I feel like that, like, this is kind of the same thing, because he's like, yeah, you're still a criminal, because there's no, like, it's just black and white to him. There's no gray. There's no, like, okay, like, Dobu, why did I roll down my sleeves only to pull them back up? There's no, like, oh, you know, Dobu is a vigilante. He's trying to go after someone that could have had something to do with the missing girl thing. Like, there's no, like, sense of that. It's literally just, you're still a criminal. So even if you're doing the vigilante, you're still a criminal, right? And so I think that that's a very interesting point, and I wonder if that was, like, intentional, right? But yeah. That's basically what I was thinking. And so then the police show up and you see again, he's starting to sweat. Whereas Odokawa is pretty like cool-headed throughout this entire scene. Like, he doesn't sweat at all until the alpaca lady is mentioned, right? Get us out of here or I'll shoot. If you shoot me, you'll just be arrested, right? And so, yeah, and you can't really hide that. Like, you know, the brother wouldn't do anything or arrest Dobu at all, but if he shot someone, that's a lot harder to cover up, you know what I'm saying? Don't say anything stupid, damn it, right? And so then you have him coming towards the car, right? You have one of the cops. Which one is it? The younger younger brother or the older brother, right? So it's like they can't even tell them apart, right? And so I feel like that's definitely gonna come into play later, because he thinks that it's the older one, and it probably is, because they can't do the whole switcheroo thing, like when they're in front of each other, if the other one doesn't know that they have been pretending to swap. But what if they're both in on the swap, like the entire time? Like, what if both brothers are in on it and have been actively like swapping with each other all the time? We don't know though. We don't know, right? So anyway, he's like, okay, well, it is the older one, clearly, right? But I don't know, like, I feel like that there's definitely going to be a switcheroo. It just may not be right now. Can't you tell him being robbed, right? He's got a gun, and so he's just like, be quiet, you'll bother the neighbors, right? And so it seems like he's relieved, because he's like, oh, okay, well, I know, like, this guy, he's my guy, right? Something's wrong with this driver. It certainly seems that way. And you can see, like, the smirk on his face, too, and I'm just like, oh, boy, how much is he paying you, right? Otokawa's like, yeah, how much are you getting paid, bub? You know what I mean? I thought that was so funny. In any case, could you turn off your emergency light? It's confusing, right? And so then he calls it in, I guess, and is just like, false alarm. And so he's just like, phew, like, great, like, you know what I mean? He does like a sigh of relief, I think, right here. I don't think he's the one talking. So he's like, he sighs or something a little bit. I think he's just like, great. Like, that was close, right? And so, yeah, then they have a conversation. Little bro, it was nothing. His taxi broke down. Really, bro? I heard something about a gun. And I'm like, nah, like, you can't be that stupid, right? Like, I feel like that there's something going on where, like, the little brother, oh my God, I just had an idea. What if one brother is working with Dobu and then the other brother is working with Yano, and that's why, like, the little one is, like, playing dumb, because they're both working, they're both being paid off by, like, rival gangs, you know what I mean? That's so funny if that was true. But yeah, see, like, it's like, oh yeah, like, you're right, damn those taxi drivers, right? But I said this before, like, what if that's just, you know, a ploy, like, he's pretending, he's just going along with what his brother says because he wants to, like, turn it around on him in the future or something. Like, he wants to convince, you know, like, oh, keep going along with this idea that Odokawa is untrustworthy to one day, like, pull a switcheroo or to use that in his advantage. But we do see that there's some sort of, like, crime thing happening here, at least. And so we see an ambulance, and then we see, like, what looks to be a car accident. And so I wonder if this guy has, like, taxi-related trauma, and that's why he's actually so hard on Odokawa. I doubt Odokawa was involved, but, like, we don't actually see what goes on here. But I wonder if, like, somebody, I don't know, like, it's almost like, this is so bad, but in the Cruella movie, the Dalmatians, like, killed her parents or something, and that's why, like, she turns out the way she is. Spoilers for Cruella, I guess. But, yeah, and so it's sort of like taxi drivers killed my mom. Like, I don't think that that's what it's gonna be, but I do wonder, because, like, he seems to be remembering something. So I was like, is Odokawa involved with that, and he holds a grudge against it? Right? Like, did Odokawa get in an accident and, like, he's still, like, you know what I mean? He was never charged, or maybe it wasn't even Otokawa's fault, but he still, like, felt like it was. I don't know. Anyway, you turned on your taxi's emergency light and kept me talking, found a cop car, and provoked me, so I turned a gun on you, right? And so I was like, was it really that calculated? Because I didn't see the cop car at all. But I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe Otokawa's smarter than we think he is, and he seems almost impressed. Like, he has this look on his face, and he's like, yeah, like, yeah, you wanted the cops to see. That's quite a risk you took. What if I'd actually shoot you? Whatever, I wouldn't mind dying. And I was like, Dr. Goriki, help us, please. You're not afraid to die? Someone who's not afraid to die doesn't need your weird sense of justice. I am afraid, unbelievably so, but I'd rather die than get involved in what sounds like a pain in the ass. And I'm like, oh, sir, I love you. I love him so much. He's just such a likable character. I get it, Otokawa-kun. I understand that threatening you won't get you to do what I want. And so now he's just like, okay, well, clearly this man has no, like, sense of self-preservation. So what about, like, do you want some money? You don't seem motivated by money. And you see, actually, like, he hunches over a little bit. He kind of changes positions. And then he's like, oh, I know, I'll hurt your friends. Who should I hurt, right? And I was just like, and so he starts with Kakihana, and so then he says, Kakihana, huh? He's better off dead too, and I thought that was so great. And so, yeah, you're so cold, Otokawa. You seem a little shaken, though. And so he's bluffing, clearly. I don't think that he genuinely thinks that about Kakihana. But after this episode, based off of, like, the pervy stuff he's doing on the dating app, maybe he'll change his mind. I don't know. But anyway, who should I choose? Teiko, so that's the owner of the bar, I think. Shirakawa, right? And so then Odokawa starts sweating for the first time. Now, here's my theory about this, okay? I feel like this was on purpose. I feel like that he sent her because, you know, they know each other, clearly. They've been selling the drugs. So I feel like that he sent her to spy on him, right? Which is why we have the bug in the doctor's office. Like here, you know, I think Odokawa may be involved, so wear this bug in the doctor's office for me. Thanks, right? And then he got the dash cam footage and then he was like, well, maybe. I don't know. Like he's still like, maybe he still did it, but your dash cam doesn't show that, right? So maybe like Dobu, in a sense of vigilante justice, was the one who told her to like do the bug, right? And he's not above blackmailing people, so maybe he's like, hey, or even him and like the police officer are like, hey, you know, we'll turn you in if you don't, you know, like, we'll get you for selling drugs if you don't cooperate, right? And so I feel like that he set it up for her to get close to him so he could use her against him later. Like, that's basically what I think. And so this was all calculated, right? For him to, because they knew, like, he barely had any friends, he didn't have a girlfriend, he's not married or anything, so you manufacture a relationship by, like, this girl being interested in him and like being like, oh yeah, like he'll, you know, surely care about her. It's not like he has anybody else in his life who's romantically interested, so he'll be like susceptible to that somehow, right? And so then obviously he's still sweating, and they even ask why, like, why her? Because she's involved, because she is like trying to get like you to fall for her specifically for this purpose, right? And so he also broke the dash cam, like not even like, you know what I mean, not even just took the card out, he just broke the whole damn thing. And so then he buries his gun in a park. And so the only thing I'm wondering about this is like, why though? You know what I mean? Like, why bury the gun? You didn't do anything with it yet, unless you did. Unless he killed somebody, buddy, you know what I mean? Unless he already killed someone, dude, right? And so I'm sort of wondering, especially because, like, Dr. Goriki is missing, right? And so, I don't know, like, how, I thought that the doctor wasn't involved at first, because he was surprised to hear that the drugs went missing, but then I had this whole thing of, I wonder if it meant something, like the fact that he didn't carry around an umbrella and everything, and so I'm like, what if he was just telling the alpaca lady to sell the drugs, and she didn't want to do it, but she didn't want to lose her job, and then also she was, like, getting it cut, like, what if they were in on it together, but then somebody, like, found out and, like, got rid of the doctor, like, what if the doctor's dead, bro, like, what if he's dead, I don't know, but yeah, that's sort of what I'm thinking, is that, like, maybe he already killed the doctor. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But yeah, and so then, did he fall asleep, or is he just, like, reeling from the fact that, like, he's, like, sweating because, you know, obviously he's stressed out about this, but then, it's 4 a.m, so she waited all night, like, sis, like, you know what I mean? I know that sometimes, like, I remember, I was a teenager once, okay, and she's, like, 28, so this is even more unrealistic, but, like, I remember staying up to talk to guys that I, like, liked, you know, like, until 4 a.m, but, okay, we have to talk about this man in a minute, but, like, this is ridiculous. Like, you're a grown woman, you would not do this. It's clearly, like, she's clearly a plant. You know what I'm saying? And so then, we have this guy standing in the middle of the road, and so, Odokawa has to swerve, like, I don't think he even swerves out of the way. I think that this guy somehow, runs out of the way because he realizes that a car is actually coming. And then you see that he's playing the phone game that the other guy was playing. And so I'm just, like, really confused about what was happening here, because it seemed like he was crying in the middle of the street, but then, like, I don't know. Like, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if this was, like, he wanted to unalive himself, and he, like, you know, when the car was actually coming, he was like, oh shit, like, I can't do that, you know what I mean, like, his life flashed before his eyes, I guess, and he, like, had regrets about standing in the middle of the road, you could say, because I have heard that, like, does happen, like, when you're actually faced, with the fear, you realize that you can't, right, and so, like, that's good, don't do that, don't unalive yourself, please, and so, yeah, I'm curious, though, because it seems like that this guy is gonna be the focus of at least part of next episode, and we could see, like, what drove him to this point. And he's also playing the game that the comedian was playing, and so it seems like that everything is gonna be, like, an intertwined plotline, which I think is cool. Like, I'm like, you know, everything, but, like, I mean that, like, in the best way possible. This is gonna be, like, some puzzle stuff, right? And so, yeah, do you have some business with me? So I feel like Odokawa knows, right? Like, you wouldn't talk to your friends like this. He says, do you have business with me? Like, I feel like he knows that she's involved, right? Is wanting to see you not good reason enough? No, it's not good reason enough, sis, right? You know those fast-forwarded videos of landscapes filmed on a fixed-point camera? Watching those make me feel so anxious. The sun sets in a blink of an eye, the stars move, and the clouds drift by. It forces us to confront the fact that time marches on, and it's 11:30 at night, so yes, time does march on. I am unfortunately very aware of that fact. Anyway, and so yeah, like, that's true, right? Regardless of what we have to say about it. And so I wonder, though, like, if that's, like, more, like, metaphorical somehow for her. You know, it's kind of like, oh, yeah, like, yeah, I have to sell the drugs because I have no choice and life goes on or so. I don't know, but anyway. I don't believe there's such thing as wasted time, but they say time is money, you know? And so, again, she's focused on money, sis, because she has to pay off her loan. She turned to drugs to pay off her loan. I don't know. Why not take things slowly then? Try saying that again, but meaner this time. And so, like, she's just so cute, though. Like, even though I feel like she's in on some shady stuff, like, she's, like, really cute still. Is that enough? Is that enough to save us? Cute girl, right? Why not enjoy a bit of sherry and a fudge brownie while strolling along the West Coast? And so I feel like he's basically saying, you know, have some ice cream and take things slowly as you stroll along the West Coast of life. I don't know. You watch too many American movies, Odokawa. I don't understand. Your snide remark has a rather American quality to it. You don't want to be friends with me. Why not? Because I've got some Yakuza type guys after me. Well, at least he's like straightforward and honest, you know what I mean? They know who my friends are. It's kind of dangerous. I'll be fine despite how I look. See, she's not even surprised. Like, she's just like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that would usually be a turnoff if you were in a romantic relationship with someone and they were like, oh yeah, by the way, I have the Yakuza after me on like our second date. You know what I mean? Like, it's like their second time meeting outside of the clinical setting, and I don't even want to go into the weird like power imbalance that has. Like, you probably shouldn't date your doctor or your nurse, but like regardless of that, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, like, she's not fazed by this at all. It's like that she knows. She definitely knows, because she was set up, right? She's set up by them. And, like, look at her. She's, like, you know, karateing people, and I did think that this is pretty funny, and I thought the Bollywood thing, like, I did not expect that, but, like, the music was, like, on point. And so, yeah, it's martial arts. At first, I was trying to lose weight. Then I got interested in seeing how much I could improve my form, and I'm like, nah, sis. Is it because you're running around with the Yakuza? Like, I feel like that it's not, like, I feel like it's not as simple as that. Well, maybe, but I don't know. Your makeshift capoeira won't be enough to beat these guys? That's obnoxious. How do you know my martial arts skills are makeshift? And I love the look on her face. Like, we see her actually get, like, angry, right? We didn't see that in previous episodes. If it was to lose weight, then it can't be effective in a real fight. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing to think, and I don't know why that he says that. You know what I mean? Maybe he means, like, it's more cardio than like weightlifting and like gathering muscle, but I don't know. I think that's bullshit, Odokawa. Wouldn't you be upset if someone called you a makeshift taxi driver? And then he says, obviously I'd be upset, it's my job, right? And so I wonder if that's a hint at the fact that she's like insulted because she is not like, yes, she's a nurse, but like she's a Yakuza first, right? So she's a makeshift Yakuza if her martial arts aren't up to snuff. Like, maybe I'm looking too much into it, but that's how I would read that, right? Because he says, I'm not calling you a makeshift nurse, but like, what if you're calling her a makeshift Yakuza by virtue of insulting her fighting capabilities and she's offended? I don't know. Anyway, by the way, what does makeshift mean? You got upset and you didn't know what it meant. I understood more or less from the nuance. Use a synonym that's easier to understand. And I'm like, sis, you're a nurse. You know what I mean? Like, makeshift is pretty common, but again, this is like Japanese translated to English, so I don't know. It means temporary substitute. I think that that's not a great definition, Odokawa. I would personally define makeshift as like shoddily put together. You know what I mean? Like kind of slapped together. Maybe that's not what it, because temporary substitute, like, yeah, I guess, But, like, I think makeshift brings more the idea of, like, held together with, like, duct tape and some string, you know? Who's a substitute nurse? And, like, you see again, she gets pretty angry. I didn't say that, and I'm astonished you got upset for the same reason twice. And then she starts, like, you know, like, I'll fight you, Odokawa, which, again, I thought was funny. Anyway, it's dangerous for us to be meeting like this, for you, that is. It doesn't matter. I'm an adult, and so see, she's not phased. And I'm like, bro, like, do all your potential boyfriends get, like, hunted down by the Yakuza? Why aren't you surprised? Like, clearly she's in on it, right? I can protect myself, and you see he's actually sweating, right? And so I feel like that could just be nervousness by the fact that he hasn't convinced her, and he is worried that she'll be in danger, but I think that it's still, like, this is not legit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that he knows, maybe. Because he says, what's your goal? For what? What do you gain from meeting with me, right? And so I feel like he knows. Like, he definitely knows. Am I bothering you? And she doesn't give him a straight answer either, right? Would it bother you to occasionally meet and chat like this or exchange messages? And so, see, and then she goes in for, like, the hand-holding thing. And I'm like, this is not true, right? This is not true at all. Look at her. She, like, that's not a look of, like, love and adoration. Like, that's not like, oh, yes, I feel so relaxed around you. Like, look at how resting bitch face she looks. Like, she's just trying to see how much she can affect him, you know, because she's manipulating him, because this is manipulative, right? And so I feel like that is how this scene is going. That was not like a look of love, you know? Like, and I know that they're animal people, but I've seen looks of love, okay? I've watched Beastars. That was not conducive to, like, I am so relaxed when I'm with you. She wasn't even smiling, right? She's just, like, holding his hand, like, right? Like, I don't know. I just don't think that that's legit. I'm so sorry, Odokawa. So yeah, then she has to go to work. So, all right, after all, you are a taxi driver. Like, look at her. Look at how she looks at him when she's saying that. She didn't look at him while holding his hand, right? She doesn't want to do this. There's no way. And so then we have the, what's for lunch segment, like, with the horse guy, which is obviously, like, shown, in the audio drama and stuff, but I don't think that we really have to get into that. It's our fourth episode, and we've received absolutely no response. Well, that's great. Anyway, and so, yeah, that's kind of weird, though, because I don't know how that plays in with the timeline, but yeah. And so now, Kakihana is in the bar, and he is, like, drooling over his phone still, right? Okay, yeah, so then he talks to this guy, and I wonder if this is the guy he goes to the sushi bar with, and, like, his partner was just, like, watching a rerun on TV or something, you know? But he did say that it was midday when he did that, and so I feel like that this probably, well, I mean, it looks dark outside. That does not look like midday. So I don't know. This may be a rerun, but I was thinking that maybe, like, his partner saw, like, a later one or something. But yeah, okay, so these guys in the background, they're definitely important, and I say that because I'm pretty sure that this one is in the OP. Like, I thought that it was the brother at first, being, like, a bank robber and being in disguise like the cops, but that hat is the same hat as the guy that's in the TV screen of the OP. So I feel like all those guys are maybe, like, Yano's guys or something, you know? And so, yeah, so they explain what happened with the alpaca lady. You're unusually annoying today. Has your affection for her grown? It's the size of Jupiter now. And I'm just like, bro, but you know that she's manipulating you. Like, I feel like he knows. I don't know, but he looks kind of off to the side, so maybe he's looking, like, kind of embarrassed, but yeah, okay, so yeah, they pan to these guys. These guys are definitely involved. Like, I don't know how, but they are, and they were in the OP, so anyway. Love is both a painful and beautiful thing. Are you in love? I was pretty popular in high school, remember? Yeah, you played baseball, and so I guess, like, he's just like, yeah, when I was a kid, like, I was, you know, getting all the ladies, because I played baseball, and that's the bare minimum. But once you're an adult, people have pretty high standards regarding your appearance or work performance. As I've gotten older, I've started to give up on it. My spring's finally on the horizon, though. Really? That's great. I mentioned this before, but in the marriage marketplace, there's no demands for guys with specs like us. And you can actually see, I guess, Taiko's just listening to this, and like, right? Because she's the one who said that she wouldn't marry him before. Right. Why is a 28-year-old nurse interested in me? And he's making a little alpaca origami thing. It's that special feeling that outshines your specs, and I'm just like, no, like, she had no feelings, sis. Like, you can't convince me, right? I compared my feelings to Jupiter before, but I don't really understand attraction or romance myself. And I feel like that's interesting because it does seem like that he is romantically inclined in the sense that he's clearly feeling something for her, but I wonder if like people see him as an asexual character, if that makes sense. But I don't know, I can't say like that as of right now. I always thought they were concepts that had nothing to do with me. In any case, I'm not confident, right? And so I feel like he knows, like he's like, I'm not confident that she likes me for me, there must be something going on, right? Before you know it, you're in love. That's just how it is. Don't lecture me on love, it's aggravating, right? Because I'm like, what do you know, bro? And so, yeah, like, he is, you know, like, oh, yeah, he's giving all this love advice because now he thinks he's the fucking expert, right? And so then he shows the picture of Shiho on the phone, right? She's just a little girl. Thank you. Thank you, Odokawa. She's 18. But see, he says she's still only 18. As if it's like, well, you know, she's still only 18. Like, you're right, she is, but, like, it's fine, right? But, like, I'm just like, no, it's not fine. You're old. Anyway, and so we've only exchanged messages, but we get along great. We're supposed to meet up soon, but she's busy with work. And, like, look at him. Look at this side eye. He's just like, bro... like he's even creeped out too. Did you meet her on a matchmaking site? That's right. I know what you're trying to say. You think she doesn't exist, don't you? Right? But he actually did get her to like write a picture and like, you know what I mean? Like write a picture, take a picture with writing. It's like one of those things where it's like to prove someone's real, you like, you know, you hold the newspaper or something like that, or write a note and then like take a picture with it and stuff. Like I've seen that before. And so yeah, like she's real, but she's not real. She doesn't have real intentions. And I feel like that's the parallel, is that Shiho does not have good intent. Like, she wants him to be the sugar daddy, and then the alpaca lady, Miho, right? Oh, their names are even similar. I wonder if that was intentional. They're like parallels, and so one of them, right, like the sugar daddy girl, that's her intention, and with Miho, it's that she is basically like a spy, you know, for Dobu or whoever. Are you sure you're not being tricked? Kakihana, I'm not saying this out of jealousy. Think about it. You said so yourself. There's no demand for us in the marriage marketplace. And look at him side-eyeing him still. I'm telling you, it's the feeling. How, you've never even met her. How can there be any feeling? And I'm like, that's such a good point. I told you we've been exchanging messages. Take a look at all these. Let me see your profile, right? And so I love this. And I kind of like this too, because it can show that Odokawa can be forceful when he wants to be, because when he takes the phone, he like throws him to the floor. You know what I'm saying? And so during this like fight, he like literally like smacks him and he falls over, and he doesn't seem to really care about it. And so I wonder if that's gonna be important later. And so yeah, then obviously he sees like the fake annual income. So he's 41, okay? Like, listen, you know, you do your thing. I mind my own business, okay? Like, if you're a legal adult, I don't care. Like, I don't care what you do. Like, I have the philosophy that unless you're hurting someone, or like you're in a position where you're like doing like something that's bad for yourself and you should get help, like, I don't care what you do. Do whatever you want. It's none of my business. That's how I feel about pretty much everything, you know? And so that's my stance on a lot of things, is like, I don't care. If you're not hurting anyone, I don't care, right? But like, 41 and 18, bro, like, I don't know, like, I feel like that there's just, like, you know what I mean, how, that's like a 30-year age difference, you know, like, 10 years, okay, like, you know, like, I know a lot of, like, you know, people that have a 10-year, like, age gap, like, maximum type of thing, but I've never, like, that's, I can't. If someone's old enough to be your kid, I can't. These specs you lied about outshine any kind of feeling. I thought that was hilarious. I know, but still, I want to dream, and I'm just like, you're so pathetic, but it's kind of like, it is kind of funny, because I do think he's somehow a likable character, somehow. I don't know how, but like somehow. But I think that this is pathetic. Maybe I just like laughing at how this is so bad. You know what I mean? Like, not the show, but right? And so maybe that's why. But like, anyway, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to say that he's a somehow likable character without people thinking I'm also like excusing his behavior, because I'm not. I've clearly said that I totally, and I'm glad Odokawa like put him in his place. It's just like that I want to dream. Like, what do you want to dream about, sir? You want to dream about young girls like fawning over you, but that's not a real relationship. You know what I mean? Like, that's just like a fantasy, right? And so, anyway. So yeah, he gets a text message and it's about like meeting up together. And so maybe it was lunchtime when Odokawa came in, because now it's like nighttime, so I don't know. What should I do? I'm on my way. And so yeah, you actually see that he has like the hearts in his eyes again. Oh yeah, that's like the OP. Oh my god, foreshadowing, love that. Is this like a shrine that he's running past? I wonder if this is gonna be important. Actually, no, that he's not running past that. That's Odokawa's at the shrine. So I wonder if Odokawa is just coming out of the bar, or if like he went here after the bar, like for a reason. Is that a shrine? I don't know. That's what it looks like to me, but it could also be like just outside of the bar. And I'm like, right? Because we did have that whole like incense stick thing, right? So I'm like, oh, I wonder, right? I can't get in touch with him. So yeah, Goriki's just missing. And so I'm just like, was he involved in the drugs and now he's missing too, right? And so I can't get in touch with it. Like, that's so sus. He did say that he made enough to pay a housekeeper though. Like, but doctors make a lot of money, at least in Canada. I don't know about Japan. But like, a doctor like could probably afford a housekeeper, but what if he could afford it because he was selling the drugs? I don't know. I feel like that there's something, but I don't know what. Like, why? What were you doing? What were you doing, sir? You know, I feel like that I don't know, but he didn't seem involved in it all. I didn't want to believe it. Maybe the doctor was involved somehow. But yeah, and then it starts to rain, right? And so she asked, like, what should she do? But I'm like, I don't know, like, why would he go missing? And, like, what about his wife and stuff? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there just seems to be left out information, right, about, like, the reason why he could be gone. So anyway, they meet each other at the bus station, and she's, like, shrouded in darkness. Like, this is so fucking sketchy. And then it also feels like someone's watching them, and people are watching them. Like, the manager, and then I guess the manager's muscle is hanging out, right? And so I think that they're planning to rob him or something. You're even more wonderful than I thought. I'm relieved, and I'm like, your acting skills, sis. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll give you an Oscar for this, right? And so then she tries to like, I guess because like he's basically like soaked, right? Because he doesn't have an umbrella. Should we get tea someplace? Yeah, I know a place that serves good Darjeeling. I don't know what that is, but I'm guessing it's like a type of tea. But I don't really know this area. There's a detour nearby. Let's go there. Let's go in the dark alley. That can't go wrong at all. But like, you know what I mean? That doesn't seem very effective though. I think that the reason why, here's my theory. I don't think they're going to rob him because it doesn't make any sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for rich people, like, rich people aren't just carrying, like, stacks. I think the reason is because they probably set her up to do the sugar daddy thing, and they're just following her to make sure he doesn't try anything funny. You know what I mean? That, like, because basically, like, I would say that this is kind of equivalent to being an escort, but you don't do, you know, the, like, those other parts, right? Like, some people are just escorts that just go on dates. Like, and that's like, you know, having a sugar daddy, if you want to call it that. So I feel like that they're watching her to almost protect her and make sure that it doesn't go past just a date, and that she can get money off of like just a date and like nothing else involved. And I feel like that there's like this band is some sort of money laundering scheme still. I still feel that way. Like, obviously, like, they're trying to rob like sugar daddies and stuff. Like, they're trying to get rich people's money, so it could just be part of like gang activity, but I don't know. But anyway, and so, yeah, did I show you guys them? This guy also has a scar, so who knows what's up with that. But yeah, and so then we see this guy for some reason, right? And so I guess we're gonna get his whole story. He was working for a game company, and I don't know, like, I wonder if something like, you know, he was crunched and like he got depressed or something. Don't read that. It's an interview conducted by a writer. What is it, right? And so there's, I don't know, there's some weird stuff going on. Oh my god, look at the Nintendo, like, not even the Nintendo, it's the Nintendo and all that stuff. Oh, that's so funny, all of the fake brands in the background. This doesn't belong at an auspicious event like this. Like, I'm so confused. I don't understand anything. Maybe this is the kid that sent them the letter about, like, you know what I mean? About, like, improving their comedy that he took out to the bar. But why was the guy crying in the middle of the street? because maybe, did you hurt his feelings or something, bro? You know, I wonder if that's what it was. Anyway, I'm surprised you came, Mr. Successful Comedian. That's weird. I don't know, like, there's just so much happening, and I don't understand anything. I don't understand it at all. But yeah, so that is basically it. The only other thing is the audio drama, but I feel like that I covered that really well in my reaction portion of the audio drama, and so I'll probably just keep that all in there. But yeah, it seems like, again, the comedian that is not on the lunchtime show has a lot of bad feelings. We discussed why that's no way to think. You know what I mean? That you should crush people and not praise other comedians on social media. I think I said, like, a high tide raises all ships, right? And so you have all of that. That's not great. And then keeping that in mind, then you also have the whole pen situation, which I already figured out, right? So yeah, that's basically it with that one, I think. I feel like that there's nothing really else to say in terms of that one, but at least now we kind of have a timeline. But I don't really know because, again, Odokawa has not passed on the pen yet, which means he hasn't run into the manager. But maybe he runs into the manager as the manager is coming home from, like, the sugar daddy excursion that they're going on right now, right? And so it could be next episode that he meets the manager, gives the manager the pen, and then that passes on to the girls. And that's why one of the girls wrote down that she has the sugar daddy because she thinks that she has it, like, in the bag, you know? And so, yeah. I don't know. And then the comedian stuff, again, like, the pen has clearly, like, made its way and everything. And so I think that's basically it for me. I hope that y'all enjoyed our discussion. We did have a little bit of a discussion, but yeah, this was definitely, like, it wasn't my favorite episode out of the ones that I've seen so far, but I still think that there was value in it. And that's basically all I have to say about it for now. And I guess we'll see what's going on with this new character next week. So I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.